stores were full of fucking delicious donuts on this
so good,
beautiful day. It's gorgeous
so good.
Out. And now I hope you all had a good breakfast, because Megan and I are gonna get into it. It's MK Ultra Day!
Yay!
We're kicking off the month of May, our month of conspiracies, with MK Ultra.
And these are real conspiracies, friends, not just conspiracy theories. It's conspiracy fact.
They happened.
It's true.
They didn't admit they happened for like 40 years after they happened, but they happened.
For sure. And here's the fucked thing about MK Ultra is, since like all of the shit surrounding it was ordered to be destroyed, what we know about it is like 2% of what actually went down.
Yeah.
So when in doing research for this, Aaron and I both over-researched it.
Yes,
I would venture to say, because any research about this is too much, because it's really fucked up and depressing. And so MK Ultra is kind of the umbrella under which all of this other fucked up shit happened. One of them, and this is all that I'm going to say about it because it is super fucked up, was Project Monarch, where they like experimented on kids.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to more or less make them like sleeper cell style, Manchurian Candidate style, what would I even call that?
Agents of
agents.
chaos and disinformation? I'm not sure.
Yeah, your dad's an agent of chaos.
That's
just
true.
Agents. Like, you know, like the Manchurian Candidate, where, you know, you say Rosebud and he kills the president.
or if you're Zoolander.
Oh, God. Aaron loves Zoolander.
I love me some Zoolander, and apparently it's coming off Netflix this month. So watch it while you can.
Or don't if you're Aaron and hate Zoolander.
Yeah.
I passively watched it, and I remember it had Ben Stiller slightly past his prime. That's about it. But anyway, so when I was listening to all of that, doing a little bit of research, toward the end, the people had said, well, I don't know if that actually could have happened. You know, the abuse of children, I don't think that could have gone on for very long. And it was like, oh, motherfucker, really? Like, because there's a lot of shit that we do know about MK Ultra that did actually involve, like, really just terrible, heinous shit.
Yeah, terrible.
And so it's like, no, it could have, probably did.
You know, there's a lot of those, like, MK Ultra is not, if you're driving to work, you're going to tune out a couple times. You know, it's a lot. We have condensed everything that we know down as much as humanly possible, so that it is you get an overview, you get a better understanding.
Broad strokes.
It's broad strokes, because last podcast did a 5-part series on MK Ultra that was very in depth. There's Wormwood, which is an amazing Errol Morris documentary series on Netflix about the fallout from MK Ultra, which we'll talk about a little bit with Frank Olson. Megan got into the Poisoner in Chief book, all about Sidney Gottlieb.
And it wasn't just about him. It's by Stephen Kinzer, and it's a really good book. It's a good, like, 12-hour read. It's pretty fucking intense, though.
And it's like, it is the book on MK Ultra.
Oh, for sure. It's what a lot of the sources that I had found cited was that book.
Me too.
And then, even pretty much everything that I had, all of the things around it that I had consumed were, multiple parts. Sometimes 3 parts, or just like a 2-hour series. So there's a lot to go through, for sure.
Yeah, if you want to do a deep dive, feel free. We're going to give you the entertaining overview.
Yeah.
With the hopes that it doesn't ruin your day.
Yeah, we hope that we don't depress you too much.
Yeah. So what is MK Ultra? It was a top secret CIA project where the agency conducted hundreds, maybe thousands.
More likely thousands.
Yeah. Of clandestine experiments, sometimes on people who had no idea that they were being dosed, on the potential use of LSD and other drugs for mind control, information gathering, and psychological torture. So Project MK Ultra lasted on record from 1953 until about 1973. And details of the program did not become public until 1975 during a congressional investigation into widespread illegal CIA activities, which I think is the most accurate statement I've ever read on this podcast. Also, it's important to know that it was like one of, if not the very first thing the CIA ever did as the CIA. So we're going to go through in chronological order. We're going to break down what it was, when it happened, what it did. I mean, there are people that say that it's still ongoing.
Which is probable.
I wouldn't doubt it. All of the things that we're going to tell you today are true. They are not tinfoil hat. They are documented in congressional hearings. There is physical evidence of it.
That's kind of another reason that we're not going to get into Monarch too awfully much.
Yes.
Is because, well, I do think that it is extremely fucking likely. I do not have enough concrete evidence that is not anecdotal that it happened.
Yes.
But on the record, I do absolutely believe that it did happen.
Yes. So I guess we'll kick it off. We'll start it. So
Erin's gonna list stuff and I'm gonna yell over her.
Hell yeah.
As usual.
So prior to World War II, there was no centralized agency of intelligence. Everyone was sort of on their own. And when I say everyone, I mean like national security didn't talk to defense, the Department of Defense, and they didn't talk to the Department of crimes. What am I thinking? What's the word I'm thinking?
It's Department of Crimes.
The Department of Crimes. The police
people who were in charge of criming.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. They did not talk to any of those motherfuckers.
Nobody was concerned with what the other was doing.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that will make it more understandable why the guy who formed the Office of Strategic Services, which was what they called the CIA before they called it the CIA, it'll make his name much more understandable. So they had the Office of Strategic Services during World War II prior to the CIA. In 1947, the CIA was formed with former OSS guys, and the head of the OSS was General Wild Bill Donovan.
Yeah.
Wild Bill was running things. A man named General Wild Bill was running things.
You expect him not to wild out?
Exactly. He's gonna put his dick on a window and make you see it. He's gonna put his finger in your ear after he's licked it. He's gonna wet willy you.
Oh, he's definitely gonna do some dick taps.
Oh, dick taps for sure.
You're gonna walk in, he's gonna be giving you the fruit basket or the goat. There's no way this dude didn't do a ton of like dick jokes. Jokes involving his own dick.
Oh, his own dick, and like
he probably invented dick in a box.
Oh my god, probably.
He seems the type.
Yeah, because when he took over, he was like, oh, cool. I've got guys. We're gonna do some things. Maybe we'll do some science things. All right. So
boys
club with booze, babes, my balls, and maybe
Wild Bill.
And Wild Bill.
Hell yeah.
So he appointed Stanley Lovell to break ground in the science and technical fields by telling him literally, make merry in hell. Like bring on the shit. Fuck shit up. Do whatever you want. There are no ethical repercussions because we don't give a fuck. Do you want to put a dog's head on a donkey's body? Do it. I don't care. Here's the money.
And that's kind of one thing that becomes super fucking problematic is the whole who's gonna watch the watcher.
Oh my god, yeah.
On this one, yeah, they were like, let's find somebody who's got a reputation for being a fucking wild card.
Yeah.
And just give him the keys to the fucking castle.
It was if Frank Reynolds, his character from Sunny, had unlimited funds
as the warthog.
Yes. They were like, we're gonna do some shit.
Oh, yeah.
And they were kind of unmarred. They kind of didn't have a lot of things tethering them to one specific thing.
Oh, yeah. They were able to work, quote-unquote work, and do whatever with complete impunity.
Oh, yeah.
Like, They could not be prosecuted for absolutely anything they did. Like, written into it.
Yeah. They had forever get out of jail free cards. And they didn't have to tell the people they were experimenting on, which were mostly the mentally ill, the invalids, the children, people who could not tell on them. Mm-hmm. And I feel like somebody may have had boobies sewn to their head at some point. Like, that's the level at which these people were doing science.
It was like a slightly less nefarious, I was going to say Project Paperclip, but that's like where they just they got a lot of people from over there, but it was like slightly less nefarious than the experimentation that was going on in like the concentration camps.
Actually, it's the exact same.
Well, it was a lot of the same people.
Well, and a lot of the same experiments too. So what Meg is alluding to, and it's what we're going to get into a little bit later, is Project Paperclip was where the American government, after the Allies won World War II, they went to the Nazi scientists who were far advanced in comparison to us and Russia and stuff. And they were like, hey, you got your shit together. Come work with us. Tell us what you did in the camps. Show us what you did. And like, we will wipe the slate clean. You get us to the moon before the Russians, we will wipe the slate clean. And so, Mengele level scientists from the concentration camps were brought in. And they were like, oh, so here's what we did in the camps, you know? And it was like, we gave them hallucinogens, and then we did this, and we did this. So all of the things that became MK Ultra ultimately stemmed from Nazi scientists, because we were so desperate to win the space race. They were like, fuck it, you're good. We could kill you, but you're so smart. So they were kind of, they remained completely wild and out until one day, when the OSS saw the trial of Joseph Cardinal Mindszenty.
Oh, yeah, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, so he was forced to testify in a Hungarian court that he was a spy. He was a fucking cardinal. He was a cardinal who was forced to testify that he was a spy. He wasn't. There was absolutely no proof. And they were like, oh shit, why is he saying that? Did they brainwash him? Then, later in the Korean War, American soldiers were forced to testify on record in front of news cameras, you can find the footage, that they dropped germ bombs on populations. They didn't.
Surprisingly.
So, I mean, they probably would have, but they didn't. And so the people in the OSS said, why are they saying shit? What did the enemy do to wipe their brains and get them to say this stuff? And that is what sparked MK Ultra, was this unmitigated fear that the enemy already had mind control devices and that we didn't know what they were. When in reality, it was regular old torture that got these people.
Regular fear.
Yeah, it was regular torture.
Stuff.
There's so many things you can do with sensory deprivation, sleep deprivation, starvation, physical torture, and torment that don't involve mind control. People have broken for less. If you put you put me in a room, give me 6 hours, I will get hungry. I will tell you anything you want to know. Do you want to know about how I committed fraud crimes in the 1930s in Denmark? I will fucking make something up. Just give me a sandwich, or I'll tell you what you want.
Now, see, if you threaten to put me in solitary, the first week I'm sleeping, so do not fucking disturb me.
Yeah, that'd be a nice break.
After that, I would enjoy some water.
Maybe a piss bucket.
Yeah.
I would go bonkers. If you put me in solitary for 6 hours, I would lose my mind completely.
Really?
That's how thin I have a very tenuous grasp on my ability to maintain my shit. Yeah. 6 hours in complete darkness.
Oh, that would be fine.
I would die.
6 hours is not enough for me. I need a good 12.
Oh my God. I would crawl out of the hole like the guy in Alcatraz after 32 years when they finally let him out and he was like, oh no, it's too bright. And he crawled back in. Oh. Yeah. It was a really good movie with Christian Slater.
Was that true?
Yes, it was based on a true story. Okay, I know you guys are screaming at your phones right now. Because you know what I'm talking about, and I want to say it had Gary Oldman and Christian Slater. I'm going to go to IMDb, or maybe Kevin Bacon.
Is it The Rock? Because that didn't have any of that.
No, it's not The Rock.
Okay. Because you would have been sorely misremembering The Rock.
I feel like I would have missed all the fun parts of The Rock. Maybe it was Kevin Bacon. Okay, I might have to edit all this out because this is very boring while I'm just typing in and waiting for my computer to bring up. It was, okay, I feel like Christian Slater was the lawyer. Kevin Bacon was the guy in the hole. It was based on a true story. I'm 100% sure it was Alcatraz.
I'm amazing at disassociating. And so, like, yeah, if you put me in solitary, if you threaten to put me in solitary for one day, I'd be like, yeah, that's okay. That's dope. Thanks. That's fine for me, man.
I'll have a little break.
Yeah. It sounds great. Do you have any idea how much sleeping I would get done?
I know, right?
Most of it. I would sleep for a solid 18 hours. Yeah, I'll be fine.
Kevin's Bacon middle name is Norwood. He doesn't look like a Kevin Norwood to me.
He doesn't really look like a Kevin, though.
No, he doesn't.
Well, he does have a weird tiny nose.
Oh
I always thought that Kevin Bacon looked like if Skeletor, if you took him and you had like a saran wrap of skin and just kind of like placed it over his face, like, here you go, now we can go to Denny's together. That's Kevin Bacon.
He does look like Red Skull from the Avengers.
Doesn't he, though?
Mm-hmm. Is it Sleepers? No, it's not Sleepers. Murder in the First. It's Murder in the First.
I've never heard of that.
Okay, let me get there. Sorry, my Wi-Fi is so bad out here.
That's okay.
We're in a tin can.
Perfect for conspiracy theories.
It is. It really is. Yes, Murder in the First. An eager and idealistic young attorney, played by Christian Slater, defends an Alcatraz prisoner accused of murdering a fellow inmate. The extenuating circumstances: his client had just spent over 3 years in solitary confinement. So 3 years is far less than the 36 years I remember it being. But yeah, so basically they locked Kevin Bacon in solitary for 3 years, and then he came out and he killed someone because he was like, it's bright out here. It doesn't say it's based on a true story anywhere.
It probably isn't.
But I'm
then.
sure it is based on
Kevin Bacon's actual life.
I just attempted to disinform you a bunch of things. All right, I take back all the things about 36 years and a true story. It's a real good movie. I know nothing else about it. I'm sorry, friends.
She saw a biopic of Kevin Bacon's the time he got lost in Alcatraz and nobody found him until 3 years later. You wonder why he didn't do anything after Footloose? That's why.
He was locked in the bathroom at Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin
and
Bacon.
It's fine. There's tons of mice and rats. He lived well. But that's why only recently have we seen a ton of stuff with Kevin Bacon now. He's very active on social media because he missed.
Is.
Yeah. Well, he had to make up for lost time. All he had was himself, a guitar, rats, and a toilet for 3 years.
Okay, I take back everything I said. I feel exonerated. This is a real hard day for me for keeping things straight because it really is based on a true story. In real life, Henry Young's defense was handled by 2 attorneys, not one, not just one Christian Slater. So there was
Here's the thing, though.
There's a real
Those
guy.
2 attorneys were just 2 children in one trench coat.
Okay, I feel exonerated now. I think that regardless of all the disinformation I've given you, you should still watch this movie, Murder in the First.
And those children were actually mice.
Oh my God, they were mice who learned to talk while they were in solitary.
They didn't learn to talk. That's why they lost. That's how he ended up in solitary.
Oh my God, that's fucking funny.
He sent his 2 most competent mice out to defend him. And immediately they were like, these are 2 mice in suits made of toilet paper that they're chewing on.
Oh my God, that's why they had such beady eyes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That was the main reason that he lost, is because they had beady eyes, and people don't trust other things that have beady eyes. It goes back to last episode.
Oh, it's true.
Where, you can't hire a lawyer that's unlikable.
No, you're gonna end up on death row.
Yeah, or stuck in a hole at Alcatraz for 3 years.
3 years, not 36. I don't even
Kevin
think
Bacon.
Alcatraz was open for 36 years. I'm really sorry. I will be the first person to apologize when I get something wrong. And let me just say, I had one of those nights last night where I slept, but my dreams were so active and intense, I woke up tired. And then I woke up to complete chaos. Like, all of a sudden, the dishwasher repair guy was here. And then I had a virtual meeting at the same time. And DJ had to get to school. And Wolfie's like, I'm never eating food again. I hate your breakfast you gave me. It was a whole thing. So I'm not trying to excuse my behavior, but there's reasons for it.
I had a dream that I was not married.
Oh.
And that I was dating this guy who I used to date a long time ago, and I went to go on a date with him, but he was on a date with someone else, and I got really, really mad.
Oh.
And so yeah, I woke up and I was really mad at that person, despite the fact that I haven't spoken with them in quite a while.
So you know who you are, motherfucker.
Yeah, you know who you are. I dreamt about you.
You're a dick.
And you made me real mad.
Yeah.
You should not have done that.
It's funny, sleep is like... Well, we'll get to it. Sleep is one of the main components that helps brainwash people, according to the CIA. Lack of sleep. Or too much sleep.
Which is true.
They did put... Well, I'll wait till we get there. So ultimately, when the CIA saw what they perceived to be this brainwashing, immediately they were like, dude, Chinese people. The entire Chinese population. Let's do it to them and then send them back to China. Because communists, right?
Yeah, they hated communism.
Oh, you could taste how much they hated him. So they were like, yeah, no, this is what we're going to do. We're going to brainwash the Chinese and then make them go back to China. And then they'll be sleeper agents and they'll kill all the communists.
That sounds like some real white dude thinking.
That's like Pinky in the Brain, like, style white dude logic.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, like they're not going to just go back to China and be like, oh, I mean, we're communists, but hey, I missed my mom's cooking, you know? Like,
right?
It's interesting. So, so Manchurian candidates, that was what they wanted to create these people. And that is a term that came into existence because of a movie. That was not what they called their agents. It came after, so.
Well, the movie was, based on a book. So the original movie had Frank Sinatra, and it's fucking awesome, and Angela Lansbury also. I've seen that movie tons of times. She was a fucking smoke show, man.
Yeah.
I always liked her because she had the face of a cat.
Totally.
She looks like a smush face cat.
She has cat face, yeah.
Yeah. We had a cat like that when I was a kid, and I liked her.
I like smush face cats.
And so I think that's why I like Angela Lansbury so much. But when they started associating Manchuria with all of that was when the POWs were coming back and they were all fucked up.
Yeah, they were.
So that's how they weren't just like Manchurian candidate. That's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
Before the book, they started associating brainwashing with Manchuria.
Okay. Yeah. She's so much better at explaining that stuff.
No, Erin's good at explaining stuff. I'm good at being like a shitty little contrarian.
No way,
That's
dude.
my job.
That's the best job ever.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. You say stuff, I get to yell, no, you're wrong. Here's how. It's great. I do minimal work. I show up. That's it.
Dude, don't undercut yourself. You showed up with 2 bags of delicious food. And
yeah, that shit was really good.
I know for a fact that she did the research because she knows what she's talking about.
I did do a lot of research.
Unlike me last week.
That's cool, man. You wrote the outline. That's all I need.
Yeah. I know. I was like, I'm just going to start writing outlines and then we'll just yell. We'll just yell about stuff.
That's the best part because like I'm good at absorbing the information. I'm garbage at organizing the information.
And I'm garbage at remembering stuff unless it's written in order. So that works.
Yeah,
that's the secret to our success.
We just figured it out, guys.
Oh my God.
We just figured it out. Watch out.
We're coming now. In the 1950s and 60s, at the height of the Cold War, the United States government feared that the Soviet, Chinese, and North Korean agents were using mind control to brainwash U.S. prisoners of war in Korea. In response, Allen Dulles...
That fucking guy.
Oh, same one from JFK. And I put in my notes, Allen Dulles, director of the CIA, and JFK douchebag denier. Because he was the one who tried to say it was a fucking one bullet, one shooter.
How?
One bullet, one shooter. Okay, so...
Yeah, fucking right. Lee Harvey Oswald did not do it, and I know this because I saw his face.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So Megan and I, we should say this, and I think we've said it before. We decided not to do JFK. We decided not to do JFK for a very specific reason, because I believe that I know what happened, and it's not just that I came up with it. Someone else came up with it, regurgitated it to me, and I went, "Oh, yeah, that makes more sense." And now I tell everyone. It ruins their lives, but
it made my life better.
Yeah, I mean, it solves the thing. Okay, so and we're just going to get into it real quick. On the day that he was killed, I think people were trying to kill him. I don't think that they were successful in coming remotely close. What happened was all of JFK's Secret Service agents in Dallas the night before had been out drinking until the early hours, like watching the sunrise.
Honestly, from experience, having been to Dallas several times, that's what happens when you're in Dallas. It just is.
You have to.
You drink until the sun comes up, wake up drunk,
Yep,
and be alive.
And try to survive the smog.
It was not smoggy.
Oh my God, when I came out of the Dallas airport to have a cigarette all those eons ago when I was in Dallas, I looked out and I was like, how do these people breathe?
As you're inhaling smoke.
Totally.
I did not notice smog. Granted, that was during like the 25 years that I was drunk.
Yes. So it may have
might have been smoggy. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and get to it. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. All of the Secret Service men went out drinking because they thought tomorrow's going to be easy. We're just going to ride in a car that drives around. Everything will be fine. When a shot was fired, the newest man on the Secret Service team was I'm not going to say elderly. He was an older man who had just been transferred over to take the place of someone who was sick or something. He wouldn't normally have been on that detail. He heard the gunshot. He panicked. As he went to stand up and pull out his own gun, he accidentally shot the president. End of story. That's how he died. That's how he died. Because, and this is a fact, the man who I believe shot him immediately was retired from the Secret Service the next day. He went on to live in total obscurity until he drank himself to death. The rest is more convoluted. I'm just saying, if it walks like a duck, and it shoots the president in the back of the head like a duck, it's probably a still drunk Secret Service man. Now, had he not done that, the president may have survived. I mean, he had incidental wounds. The governor had the one through his wrist. There were things. Someone tried to kill him, yes. But the one who succeeded was the accidental one.
That sounds right,
and that's it, and that's all. And that's why we decided not to do JFK. But that's my little aside. And Alan Dulles did remarkably Skeletor-like things in trying to keep that conspiracy going so that you never looked really very closely at the actual facts. But
which makes sense to me.
Yes.
I know when somebody's lying. I've had enough exes cheat on me. And Lee Harvey Oswald, I do not think was lying when he said, like, okay, the anger in his eyes and the confusion was real when he was like, no, I'm being framed. Like, I'm a fucking patsy. This is like, the cops beat me up. Like, I didn't fucking do this shit. I believe him.
Yeah.
I do.
And just like Frank Olson, who we will talk about later, Lee Harvey Oswald was involved with the CIA. He was an underling. He was probably chosen because he had extensive knowledge of the things that the CIA was doing that were highly illegal, totally immoral, not at all being regulated.
And he had enough of a moral compass that they kind of wanted him gone.
Yeah, exactly.
One aside that I think is just uncanny is Lee Harvey Oswald and Jack Ruby look related.
Mm-hmm.
They look like Jack Ruby could be like Lee Harvey Oswald coming back from like 30 years in the future.
Yes.
They look exactly alike.
Yeah.
Save for Jack Ruby is, probably about 30 years older than him.
Yeah.
Like, that could easily be his uncle. Just the same exact facial features.
It is very strange.
Just a little bit more weight on Jack Ruby. That's fucking it.
Which Lee Harvey Oswald would have gotten had he lived.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a weird theory that, like, Jack Ruby was Lee Harvey Oswald, but he got stuck in this time loop and just wanted to end it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm like, vehemently in agreement with that. Because my pop culture understanding of the multiverse, thanks to like Marvel and different things that I've watched, like Loki and
Have you seen Russian Dolls?
yes, and Russian Doll, and all the different things in pop culture have helped me to understand a little bit more easily the multiverse and the episode we did. I mean, it helped me understand. I could 100% see getting stuck like that in a different reality, in a different multiverse, and just being like, nope, we're done. You don't want what comes next. We're done.
Maybe Jack Ruby tried enough times to like stop the assassination of the president,
right?
And
never could do it,
and got stuck in a time loop and ended up having to kill his younger self in order to get out of it.
Yeah, then they were finally free.
Because what happened to Jack Ruby?
Yeah,
you know,
he fucking stab in prison. The episode of Supernatural that comes to mind where Dean, or when Sam wakes up every morning and has to watch Dean die, and he can't get out of the loop, and he can't figure out what to do. What about Jack Ruby? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a thing. So, yeah. So Alan Dulles, that
fucking guy,
he approved Project MKUltra in 1953. He wanted to develop drugs that could control human behavior and brainwash people. Sometimes the test subjects knew they were in a study. Sometimes they didn't. Even when the hallucinogens started taking effect, they were like, what is fucking happening? They're like, no, you're fine. Don't worry. Nothing's happening. Can you imagine? Head full of acid. Acid made by the CIA. The CIA made acid. That's how it came to be.
They created it.
Yeah, and on accident.
Distilled it down from ergot. Yeah, like, what was it? They were...
migraine medicine.
Yeah, like blood pressure, shit like that.
They were trying to
see the effects of it on blood pressure, and they found out that it's actually a real good time.
I have to apologize. I didn't know I was going to yell this much. I'm yelling a lot. I feel like...
I told you. We were just going to do a timeline and yell over each other.
So, Alan Dulles appointed Sidney Gottlieb, who was an agency chemist and poison expert, to oversee MKUltra. And when he retired in 1973, he destroyed all the records of his work on the project.
He ordered them destroyed. He actually had to go to a few different places because the first couple of people were like, fuck no, do you know how illegal this is to destroy this shit? I can get fucking killed, I can get fined, I can get fired.
Because at this point it's the 70s, it's not the fucking 40s and 50s anymore.
Yeah. And so he had to go to like a couple people before he finally found somebody who I guess was new enough and scared enough of him.
Yeah.
That they destroyed it, but they wrote on the records that they destroyed it. I cannot remember how they phrased it, but it was, they did it against their own better judgment. Like they did it, but they didn't want to. Something like that. Where like they recognized at the time that it was fucked up and they said no a ton of times, but their hands were kind of tied.
Yeah. Now I put down that Sidney Gottlieb is the Dane Cook of the CIA. For a very specific reason. My memories of Dane Cook are of him darting from one end of the stage to another when he was filming his specials in a giant fucking stadium. I feel like Sidney Gottlieb did a lot of darting from one end of the CIA to the other, coming up with like madcap antics and ridiculous schemes, because the stuff that he goes on to do, there's no rhyme or reason.
Well, he became synonymous with acid so much to the point of where he was, I think in the late 60s or early 70s, he was on an airplane and he had a drink in his hand and he walked by somebody who was in the CIA presumably, who had made a sideways comment to him of like, I hope you're not drinking acid or something like that. Like, I hope that that's not just acid. After Frank Olson took a forced swan dive, they were a little bit more careful to, like, rein in Gottlieb just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it was so bad, though, and his name was so synonymous with acid, that they had to put out a memo, a very pointed fucking memo, to not spike the punch at the holiday party.
Like, when you have to say that, that's like saying, hey, you're going to go to Cambodia, but don't rape any women.
Right.
Or children. Just don't do it. You're going to want to. Your friends are going to be doing it. Don't
do it.
Like, what?
Oh, yeah. No, they had to explicitly, like, it was almost a Weinstein thing, like, where it was, like, an open secret.
Yes, totally.
And here's another fucked thing. So Gottlieb, when he got so interested in all of this, like, the mind control and everything, it was... he went to a magic show.
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah, and the magician had told him, and this is the most cringe thing of all of this, the magician was more or less like, hey, you like this? Like, you like all this up close magic? Well, I know how to... And then he just said a few sentences that condensed down to rape women.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how to hypnotize them into doing all this shit they don't want to do. And it's like, well, that's fucking unethical. Yeah. And so that was kind of one of the things that got him so interested in this.
He loved magic. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he loved rape.
Well, no, yeah,
more
like,
to the point.
He loved that magician because that guy taught him how to do all the things he'd always dreamed of doing.
Yeah, it gave him...
I mean, which basically involved putting things in people's drinks. Dosing people on their salads, that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Dosing people completely unwittingly. And so he had tried it out on many women, specifically many secretaries.
Yes.
And he would get them to, like, flirt with people, to tell secrets. It was implied that he raped, like, all of them. So that's cool.
And that's why it gets confusing at this point, because Project Bluebird, Project Artichoke, MK Ultra, everything Gottlieb was doing with the magician, they're all kind of the same thing. All of it involves the same thing, which is drugging someone, interrogating them, or
bending their will in one way or another.
Doing things to them physically that they are not on board with the purpose of personal satisfaction and extracting information. Implanting false memories to erase any responsibility for said rape or torture. And that's really what this all boils down to, is like doing fucked up things to people they don't want to be done, and then taking that memory away and replacing it with, I mean, some people lost all memories from ages 25 and previous. So Timothy Leary credits the CIA with the entire counterculture movement of the 60s, thanks to their creation of LSD and its introduction into society from these things. And I think that's very accurate. BZ was short for some super LSD that the CIA made that lasted up to 4 days.
Jesus. That's too long.
And when Megan and I were talking about this before, there were lots of people who became famous later on that I didn't realize were involved in this.
Oh, tons. That were involved or even just spoke about it. So John Lennon was famously quoted as having said, now I'm just going to paraphrase because I'm shitty at, like, remembering exact quotes. I'm shitty at paraphrasing those too. He had said something to the effect of that the CIA had created acid to control us, but much to their chagrin, it had actually set us free.
Yes.
And this is like 3 or 4 years before the particulars of MK Ultra came out. So it was, in a lot of ways, it was absolutely an open secret, but it was like it was just tinfoil hat enough that anyone who spoke up about it or about their experiences would be immediately discredited. Mm-hmm. It was like tantamount to like alien abduction, shit like that. But even Frank Olson was scared his last like few days of life that his food would be drugged by the CIA, which once again sounds like just basically like if you just were to hear that and you just didn't know the situation, you would think, oh, that dude's like a paranoid schizophrenic. But no, he had all right to think that.
He had watched his coworkers do it
to him,
and so many other
days
people
previously.
Yeah.
But okay, so check this out. Like, so many people that we know have been in one way or another affected, tangentially involved in this. One of my favorites is Whitey Bulger.
Now, this one I knew nothing about this.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of prisoners were told that their sentences would be, they'd lighten up the sentences, they'd get more privileges, cushier surroundings if they involved themselves in medical experimentation. And so this was one of them. And so they took him, tons of other people, but him as well. And he wasn't even like a major criminal mastermind at the time. I think that he was in for like stealing a truck or something, like a semi-truck. Or he wasn't the criminal mastermind that you know now, or knew. He's dead.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So they had experimented on him and given him like a ton of LSD and just kind of watched him. And he said that it was fucking terrible. He was seeing people's skin melt off. The cameras were turning into dog heads that were barking at him. He said it was like one of the most terrifying experiences of his life.
Sounds like a bummer. And then the only people that can help you are the people that don't want to because they want to see what's going to happen
Absolutely.
next.
Well, because it was two-way mirrors.
Yeah.
One way. One way glass. You guys know what we mean.
Yeah, in the
it
cop
was like
shows.
The cop thing.
Yeah.
Like the special orders, special victims unit.
Yeah, Stablers on one side.
Yeah, and the bad guys are on the other, and he's like, "Oh, damn you, bad guys!" It's like that glass, And then another one was Ted Kaczynski.
That's fucking crazy.
And that was a university experiment. So they were getting people from all walks of life to try this shit out. So anyway, he had they experimented on him, and he actually went home and smacked his mom up. I'm not kidding, because they'd told him while he was high on acid that like his mom is disappointed in him. All of this shit, like, just said really, they like got him high and were just really mean to him.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah. And so he was convinced that all of that was true, and yeah, he went home and he smacked his mom up, even though she had not said any of that stuff to him.
I made you a sandwich. Bam!
A sandwich of disappointment. So
I shouldn't laugh because he hit his mom, but like, it's just...
It might have made his brain crack just that amount where, like, then he decided, fuck this, I'm moving to the woods and I'm building bombs.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a theory going around that Ted Kaczynski was the Zodiac. I
don't think so, because that wasn't his type of crime.
It wasn't. There's no real hard evidence of it, but
yeah.
Ted Kaczynski is becoming a very interesting boogeyman in pop culture, I think, because the things he did...
He always was.
Yeah,
Even
he always
was. The anonymously named Unabomber.
Anybody could get a bomb. You didn't know who.
And a hoodie and glasses.
Looking like Weird Al in his sketch.
Yeah. It was just a curly-haired male person, or like male-presenting person with a hoodie and aviators.
Yeah.
That could be me.
Yeah, it could be me.
Yeah, like it could be anyone.
It's a trip.
And then another person, and this was more my favorite, Ken Kesey of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest fame.
Yeah.
He had been, and I could be messing this up a little just because I've heard so many different variations on this theme, but. So here's exactly what I know, was that he was working at a mental hospital and where they were conducting a lot of these experiments, and he was able to lift acid and give to his friends. I also had heard that once he had found out that that's what they were doing was acid, he was like, oh yeah, sign me the fuck up. So it did leak a lot into... the popular culture that way of just being fucking available.
Yeah.
And then, so there's a lot more people who you probably know, but we're going to be here all day if I play that game. So I'm just going to go to one last one. So Charles fucking Manson.
Yeah.
And the Manson family. Mm-hmm. So here's why that's probable. Is because he had been institutionalized in one form or another, be it military school, juvenile detention, mental hospital. Like, he had been institutionalized in one way or another. The majority of his life before the major Manson murders were committed. And I call them the Manson murders, but you guys know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so he, in San Francisco at the time, there was a free clinic, and Charles Manson was a pimp at that point. He had always,
that.
Yeah, he had always, that was always kind of between pimping and thievery. Those were always kind of his two MOs. And I mean, he was a con man for sure.
Yeah. He's just a little fella. He had to use his brain.
Hey, that's how I got through life for sure. Right? I was just a little fella. I couldn't fight my way out of anything.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, his whole thing was he just would act crazy so people would leave him alone.
I get that.
And, yeah, right, Stabby Jefferson over here. Jesus. He would just act crazy so people would leave him alone. And do kind of like psychological tricks that way. But, I mean, he was really smart at shit. Anyway, so he would, he'd bring his ladies in and they'd get testing at the free clinic. And that's also the clinic that they were doing a lot of experimentation at with acid. Mm-hmm. Moreover, there were several fucking times that he should have gotten his parole revoked. Like, countless several. And he didn't, partially because he kept bringing in a steady supply of girls. I don't know if you know that part.
I did not know that.
Yes.
That's interesting.
His parole officer was kind of fucking corrupt. Just a fucking bit. No, I'm talking though, like, okay, so in my life, I have privilege coming out of every fucking pore. I'm an adorable, small, white woman with curly hair, and I look like a child. I get away with absolutely fucking everything. So I understand how that can fuck with a person.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I can
just
see that.
having, I mean, for years, the world was my fucking oyster. Granted, I was no criminal mastermind, but fuck, if I was, I would have been Charles Manson.
I get that.
Because there's a lot to be said for somebody going through their whole life having nobody call them on their shit ever.
Yeah, that's very true.
And, I mean, granted, people called him on his shit, but every single time, like, looking at his arrest records, his just how long he had been institutionalized for certain things, every single fucking time he got, like, the lightest possible sentence.
Yeah.
He would get a slap on the wrist. And I understand that in a lot of circumstances, they kind of took pity on him because of his background. They wanted to give him extra chances. But, I mean, there's got to be a fucking limit.
Yeah. No.
And so, anyway, Charles Manson may or may not, it has been theorized, and this is one of those, it's, you know, kind of like a Project Monarch thing, where it has been theorized. I feel that the case has been pled very well as far as the research that I've consumed about it, that he likely had been experimented on.
It really does seem like it.
It seems to me like he had likely been experimented on. He likely took a lot of what he had gleaned and used it because he had the resources, all of the resources one might need on every level.
Yeah.
And so that may have been an extension of MK Ultra, at least a ripple.
Yeah. Oh, definitely a ripple. Definitely a ripple. Absolutely. Which, you know, and speaking of that, this is my chance to talk about Ravenscrag.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I don't remember this as much.
I'm so excited about this.
It sounds so nefarious.
It is, and it was, and it looks the part. It's an old Gothic, it's an asylum. So Ravenscrag was the name of the Gothic mansion.
It sounds like the school Voldemort went to.
I know, right? So this institute was halfway up Mount Royal in Montreal, and it housed the Allen Memorial Institute of Psychiatry of McGill University. It was here that the CIA funded a series of, so bad experiments. And the work was done by then director Dr. Ewan Cameron. Now, Ewan Cameron is the human Skeletor. He is the head.
I had heard him referred to
really?
As actually as kind of like how I referred to Kevin Bacon as Skeletor.
Yeah.
with loosely draped skin over. So I cannot completely paraphrase, but I guess just go back like 20 minutes and hear my description of Kevin Bacon, and that's roughly what it was.
Yeah. I mean, he is so evil. He had no conscience. And it's the closest experiment to brainwashing that was on record. And this was back in the 70s. I'm sorry, this was between the 50s and the 70s. So his work consisted of 3 areas. He had 3 things that he did in an attempt to brainwash people and replace and implant memories. Psychic driving. Let's see. Sleep therapy, psychic driving, and depatterning. Those were the 3 things that he did in order to erase and replace memories. Psychic driving, he would give a patient intensive electroshock therapy to make the patient regress and forget.
I do remember this a little.
Yeah. Then he would attempt to implant new ideas. He would pump people full of LSD and play pre-recorded messages on a tape. Things like, some of the nicer things were like, you love your mother. You're a good citizen. Some of the worst things were, you have no value as a human. You have no value as a human. And he would play it for fucking hours. You're high as shit. You hear your own voice or the doctor's disembodied voice telling you something.
Imagine like in Clockwork Orange.
Yes.
It's exactly that.
Exactly.
Except for the eye drops or acid.
Ugh. Then the sleep therapy. After
is the antithesis of what it actually is.
I know, right? So
that's
after
some real 1984 shit there.
It really is. Like, it doesn't even seem like it should be real, and this is well fucking documented.
Oh my god, I know.
So after he would subject them to this, then he would do what he called sleep therapy, which is he would put them in a medically induced coma for days. He would like nighty night.
Jesus.
Then, when they woke up, he would do depatterning, which would be the breaking up of existing patterns of behavior by means of intensive electroshock therapy. So more electroshock therapy.
And also bright lights. So he would put them in a coma for, between a day and like a couple weeks. He pretty much just get somebody, put them on the back burner by putting them in a coma. And then when he brought them out of it, it would be the most unpleasant fucking way to wake up. Loud noises.
Oh, yeah.
Bright lights. Being fucking shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just people fucking yelling. Just imagine the least pleasant way to wake up.
Yeah.
It was that.
It's Roseanne Barr singing the national anthem in one ear, while Fran Drescher reads you Macbeth in the other.
And Sam Kinison yells directly into your eyeball.
In your eyeballs while strobe lights are going. And
while being shocked.
Yes, and while being shocked.
And having just the brightest of lights.
He would do this for up to 30 days at a time. One guy, he even did it for 65 days straight.
And he'd fuck with temperatures.
Yes.
Extreme heat, extreme cool.
I mean, this is shit that they learned from Project Paperclip from the fucking Nazis. This is what they were doing in the camps.
This was the real, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This was the real shit that they had absolutely taken a playbook, or taken a page out of the playbook.
And he went to Nuremberg for the Nuremberg trials. He watched them. He then interrogated the Nazi doctors. And when he came back, he was like, all right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Canada. I'm going to go to Canada and I'm going to do this on Canadians.
He also, is that also the dude who went to, Germany and
yes,
South Korea?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. And the shit that he did over there was even worse. Frank Olson, was forced to bear witness to a lot of it.
And actually, that's the perfect segue, because now we're finally going to talk about Frank Olson. Dr. Frank Olson. Who
was, might I add, by all accounts, a stand-up dude.
He was a good guy. That's why he was killed.
Yeah, that's 100% why he was killed.
So,
absolutely.
Now, watch Wormwood. It's a 6-part series on this entire
really
thing.
Good.
It's done by Errol Morris, who's like my homie from fucking film school. I love his shit. He does the best fucking documentaries on earth, I would say.
It's so fucking good.
It's so good. So, Dr. Frank Olson, who worked with germs. He engineered things.
He specialized in aerosols.
Yes, he specialized in aerosols.
And he was super smart.
Good guy. He just wanted to do good for his country.
Yeah,
so he joined
as
up.
anyone did. As anyone did. And this was like around World War II era.
Yes.
That he had, gone to college. One of his other friends, Ellis, he actually had either studied with, or Ellis was one of his professors. Something. They knew each other academically.
Yeah.
When Ellis had been recruited shortly after World War II to the OSS. And he was like, well, I know a dude. And they had kind of been talking about doing the type of shit that they were doing in MK Ultra, but it was more just theories at that point, a little. And so they were more or less trying to figure out mainly how to kill Castro, because they were like hyper fixated on that.
Oh my god.
And
so
they were like, well, aerosols, because back then assassinating another like president of something, like assassinating another head honcho world leader was not as much of a crime if they couldn't prove it was you.
They're like,
right? And so
the glove don't fit.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Oh, I can't put this glove on. My hands are far too arthritic.
You must have quit.
Despite my Juice Plus. And so, anyway, they were trying to figure out the best ways to get poison on stuff.
Yes.
And that's where Frank Olson came in, because he was a specialist in aerosols specifically.
Now, he worked for years on things, and when he realized what his work was going to be doing, and like you said, he was forced.
It fucking killed him.
It fucking killed him. So one night, he goes to a boys' club meet up at a lodge.
It was
in 1953.
And they would throw these periodically, like 4 or 5 times a year, where it was, I mean, admittedly, it was some real Bohemian Grove shit. Yeah. But it was, for the higher ups, I feel, a way to feel out what their employees were doing and how they were feeling about the shit that they were doing.
Yeah. So it was like, come to this cabin by the lake. We'll have some drinks. We'll just hang out. We'll relax. Meanwhile, they dosed
everyone without their knowledge.
So they tell them as they're all starting to trip, okay, you might be feeling it. We've put things in your cordials, which is, fancy talk for drinks. So in 1953, Frank Olson at one of these events was drugged, subjected to questioning. Whatever he said, and we don't know what he said. We can theorize, but all the documents are gone. Whatever he said got him killed.
More or less, yeah. And so from everything that can be pieced together, he had in one way or another expressed being nonplussed with the entire fucking situation.
Yeah.
Before he had left, he had told his wife and one of his like really close friends that he was definitely thinking about fucking off. Yeah. It didn't make him happy. If anything, it opposite of made him happy.
Yeah.
He was sad that he was working with people who didn't have a moral compass.
Yes.
And the things that he had come up with, instead of being weapons that were used for the good of America, he felt that it was most certainly being used to the detriment.
Yeah. And when he came home from that weekend, he wouldn't tell his
crushed.
Yeah, he wouldn't tell his wife what he said.
I feel that he did, and she didn't want to get like Frank Olson, because there's some shit that she had said, just tiny sideways remarks. It's like, oh no, you knew exactly what was happening, but you didn't want your fucking kids to be killed. Keep in mind, like his the kids were young,
very young, and
they were,
toddlers.
His son was 9.
Yeah, well, it's like, because there were 2 sons and a daughter.
Yeah, and the oldest son was like 9 at the time.
Yeah, and Wormwood is Errol Morris interviewing his son Eric. This ruined his life. It consumed his entire life trying to solve his father's murder. So what happened was, he came home. He was like, I fucked up big time.
Yeah.
Then he went in and he tried to quit. And they were like, oh, you don't just quit the CIA. He's like, no, I'm done. I'm out. And they're like, no, come to New York with us.
Blood in, blood out.
Yeah, blood in, blood out. You're going to come to New York. Let's just go talk to a doctor. You look sad.
The reason that they brought him specifically to New York to see this specific doctor was under the guise of, you need an analyst You're obviously going through a hard time. You didn't handle this well. We need to bring you to this specific doctor
who was an allergist,
who has clearance.
Yeah,
so you can speak freely.
Exactly, and it was someone who he had worked with. It wasn't a psychiatrist. He was someone, like you said, who had clearance. So they're staying in a hotel, and Frank Olson.
Wait, let's rewind before that. So when he had left, he pretty much knew that he was going to be going off to his slaughter.
Yes.
His wife had asked if she could come along for the first leg of the trip, and she was able to. This fucking crushed me, by the way. And so this is from the book Poisoner in Chief. She had asked if she could come along with for the first leg, and they said yeah. And she had made him promise that he would be home for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And so they were heading back, and he was acting kind of erratically. They were in New York. He was acting kind of erratically. A couple of days before that, he had ditched his wallet and, like, ID and everything like that.
He said they told him to throw away his stuff. Like, throw away your wallet, throw away all your identification. And they were like, we didn't tell you to do that. It's up in the air whether they did or not. But he
became
believed,
very, very paranoid.
Yes, he believed he was being dosed while they were in New York. Like, kept up.
He would not eat. He would not drink. He would not do... Even when his wife was with him, he said that he was scared to eat or drink lest he be dosed again. Which, I mean, yeah, like, once dosed, twice shy. I get that, for sure. Especially working with these people, he was convinced that he was going to be arrested. He became very, very paranoid, very erratic. And so... Before this, even before he was like that, he had a reputation of being a guy who's going to tell you what's on his mind.
Yeah. If
something's fucked up or something's raunchy, he's the one who's going to be like, no, not doing that. Nope. Something seems fucked up. He is a guy who, by all accounts, had no qualm with standing up for what he believed in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that was kind of another reason why it was so unbelievable to his son Eric that he had jumped or been pushed, or jumped or fallen. But so anyway, he was going to go home that night
with his wife.
To his wife. His wife was already at home.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. And so at the last second, they changed plans.
Allegedly, he was still kind of feeling fucked up. And they were like, well, let's bring you back to the doctor. I think that he was scared that if he went home, his whole family would get killed.
Yeah. With good reason, too, it turns out.
Because shit like that fucking happens.
And he had seen it.
Firsthand, exactly. And so I think that he, at that point, wanted to stay as far away from his family as possible. Yeah. And so they stayed another night, and he didn't stay the whole night.
He didn't. He was bunked in a room with his buddy, his CIA buddy. They were bunked in a room, and at 2:30 in the morning, Frank Olson went out the window of the 10th floor of this hotel and landed on the sidewalk below. He was alive. He said a few things before he died that didn't make any sense. And originally they said, oops, he fell out the window. Now, in 1974, the family had a press release. They had a press conference, and they said, look, shit don't seem right. Tell us what happened. So the CIA came back and said, oh, our bad. We dosed him. He freaked out. He jumped out the window. Well, the way the window was, there was a sash in the middle of it. It's not the kind of window that you think of that would be easy to jump out of. You don't just like open it and you jump out. You have to break the glass. It was not a window that would open on its own. So the way his trajectory of his fall was, it was very clear he didn't leap through the window on his own accord. They exhumed his body. They found, and this was in the 90s, 1994, I believe. In 1994, they exhumed his body. They found that he had a contusion over one of his eyes. He had no damage from the glass. He did not go through the glass. He didn't have any sort of cuts or abrasions on his face.
He also didn't have anything in his system that would have shown up.
Yeah, nothing. He had no LSD in his system.
Which, don't get me wrong, these guys specialize in shit that's not going to show up on autopsies.
That's true. And so they exhume his body. They find these injuries. And finally it's like, okay, well, there was this book that existed in the CIA. There have been 5 versions of it that say how to get rid of problematic people who know too much, damn, that's a big truck, people who might turn on you, people who might run and be whistleblowers. This is how you get rid of them. You bonk them in the head right above one of their eyes to knock them unconscious, and then you drop them. Drop was the verb that they used. You drop them off a roof or out a window. That's verbatim what happened to this guy. So he was murdered. The CIA will never admit that he was murdered, but he was very clearly murdered.
Well, and the phone operator.
Oh, the phone operator!
From the hotel. So
yes.
The police had actually asked if she had heard anything. Because back then, it was kind of commonplace for the operator to, like, listen in. I'm not saying it was best standards. I'm just saying it happened pretty fucking often.
Yeah.
And, I mean, as somebody who would work night out at a hotel, like, yeah, I could see that. I mean, I wouldn't because I get bored with other people, like, really fast. But I could see other people doing that for sure. Yeah. And so she said that there was a call out of that room. And it was 2 guys. One of them had said something to the effect of like, well, he's gone. And then the other one said, well, that's a shame.
Yeah. He's gone. That's a shame. End of call.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he was taken care of by their standards.
Well, because when the cops saw, you know, a person on the fucking sidewalk in just like his underwear and an undershirt who had obviously somehow come out of a window.
Yeah.
The first thing that they did was look up, be like, okay, room such and such, we're fucking heading up there. So guns drawn, they fucking went in there. And his friend, his
Robert Lashbrook was his name.
Yeah, I'm not. He doesn't seem like he was that good of a friend. So
he called himself an acquaintance.
Acquaintance. That's better.
Work acquaintance.
Yeah, his work acquaintance. When they had found him, when they had busted open the door, he was just sitting on the toilet, you know, head in hands, and they were like, "Hey, so like, what happened?" And he was like, I don't know. I heard broken glass.
I was taking a dump. I don't know.
Yeah, like I heard broken glass. And they were like, did you like think to go down and help? He's like, I mean, I looked out the window and it looked pretty final to me. So no.
It's like, and I hadn't wiped yet. I was mid-dump.
Right.
I'm putting words in his mouth, but.
No, he had his pants on. He wasn't pooping.
No, he wasn't pooping. He was, and the recreation for the Errol Morris documentary, they recreate several potential scenarios, all of which involve him knowing that 2:30 was the magic hour when this was going to happen and locking himself in the bathroom. And in one particular scenario, Frank Olson is like, Rob, open the door, Rob. And he just like covers his head and smokes a cigarette. He's like, la, 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 la. Like it was awful. It was sad, which is why I'm trying to make a poop comment to try to lighten the mood a little, because it's so fucking awful. So after all of that, basically Sidney Gottlieb came up with Operation Midnight Climax, and this was the final attempt at some sort of mind control before they were like, you know what, this is not working for us. And Operation Midnight Climax.
It took advantage of the spirit of the 60s.
Exactly. That is the perfect way to put it. So, government-employed sex workers would lure unsuspecting men to a CIA safe house.
They'd get an extra $50 to $100 if they would, like, chill with the guy and stroke his ego and dose him with acid and try to get information out of him. Yeah. And it wasn't specifically targeted, like, go get Mr. Frank... I can't even think of names now.
Oh, yeah. Find out what his
Mr. Frank last name.
And get Mr. Frank last name, and you get his mama's spaghetti sauce recipe. I mean, it was stuff like that. It was like, see what you can get.
Yeah.
So they wanted to see if dicks and drugs could be manipulated to get information easier, because they were having less success with like electroshock therapy.
And long story short, yes. Yes, it worked very, very well.
It worked very, very well.
Ooh, here's my interesting WTF that I took from all of it. So there was those SVU windows.
Yes.
As we had talked before about. In the walls was Gottlieb and what was the other dude who did it?
His name. I just closed it out too. Yeah.
But they would sit back, specifically the other dude, I can't remember his name, but he had been portrayed as having the most beautiful blue eyes you've ever seen. Bald head, kind of a bigger dude, but he was like maybe 5'8". So there's his physical description. What's his name? Fuck if I know.
Let me see if
I
can
knew
get
it before. But anyway, so
was it George White?
Maybe. Does he look like what I said?
I just have here that George White wrote to Sidney Gottlieb in 1971. Of course, I was a very minor missionary, actually a heretic, but I toiled wholeheartedly. Heretic, excuse me. But I toiled wholeheartedly because it was fun. Where else could a red-blooded American boy lie, kill, cheat, steal, rape, pillage, and deceive with the sanction and blessing of the all-highest government?
Well, there you have it, folks. That is the you know what? We're going to erase everything we said about the episode. That's frankly all you need to know.
It is. But didn't he do the eyes behind the painting style voyeurism?
Also, my favorite thing is he drank pitchers of martinis and he had a portable toilet that he would just like sit on and record data, and he would just get drunk and watch these people fuck. Probably tug it out a few times.
Probably.
And just record all this shit.
Well, because, like, they would bang while they were on LSD, and they would say things that were, like, I'm so happy. I'm so euphoric. This is the best night of my life.
I bet. And
my social security number is 132 or whatever.
I don't think that any of them busted, though. I mean, busting on acid is difficult.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
They enjoyed themselves. And so that is the long and
busting on mushrooms is difficult.
That's the long and short of MK Ultra.
That's the long and the short of the provable aspect of MK Ultra.
There's no
because there's a ton of other shit that I've heard, and I've heard it reliably told in very similar manners.
Yeah.
But other than anecdotal evidence, there's nothing to back it. So this is the abridged version of the stuff that can be backed by evidence.
Well, and I told Megan, I was like, I'm fully prepared for us to have a 2-hour episode, and we are clocking in at 1 hour and 12 minutes right now. I'm so excited. That was MK Ultra. Again, so many resources for more if you want more.
So many resources.
This is the bite-sized nugget. Oh, and hey, new friend, if you're listening, that really is our names. Dave had a passenger who was asking about the podcast. She looked it up and she said that, who are Megan Assailant and Aaron Potter Plow? That can't be their real names. And he was like, no, it is. Those are my friends. Those are their names.
That's true.
It's our names.
And we are friends with Dave.
Yes.
Also,
I want to give a wholehearted, loving, fucking phenomenal shout out to Leanna.
Yeah, you sound nice. I like you.
And Shaylin, thank you. And Jessica, thank you everyone for listening. Oh my gosh, I hope you enjoyed it. Also, become one of us. Join our Patreon.
Yes.
Dude, we have all these presents that we want to send out. Emails for Arbor Day. You missed them this year, didn't you? Because you didn't sign up for the Patreon.
You didn't get our Arbor Day messages.
It was a good one, too.
That's true.
May or may not have been NSFW. You don't know because you didn't sign up for it. Go sign up for it now. We send you a special little something on every calendar holiday. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I bet you did.
Do you ever want to see a video of Willem Dafoe's dick?
Oh, do you want a picture of Justin Bieber's dick?
Yeah.
We'll send it to you.
Aaron
he was
will
of age.
Cross-stitch one.
I will cross-stitch you. I will cross-stitch you his weird dick.
It's weird.
It's weird.
It's confusing.
It's like, did they botch the circumcision, or is it supposed to look
circumcised?
like
Is it not circumcised? Everything about it.
It's so strange.
It's a strange dick. It's a weird dick. He's got a weird dick.
On National Hobbit Day, you're going to get a picture of a foot.
Weird foot.
You're not going to expect it. You're not going to like it.
It looks like Smeagol's foot.
Oh,
it doesn't. It was, oof.
Him's precious. His is not toenail clippers. That's for sure. So, I guess what we're saying is, would you like a little bit of unimaginable forced images in your
unabridged
life?
Happiness,
unabridged joy. Join the Patreon. Thanks for hitting up the YouTube. We see you guys. Our numbers are up. We appreciate it.
Thank you for helping us out with that. It's just weird because our regular numbers, because I mean we check those every week because it feels fucking awesome.
Yeah, it does.
And,
We work
like,
super hard on this
right?
stuff. No matter what we say, we work our asses off on this.
Oh well, Erin works her ass off. I just like show up well informed, and she makes my life easy. But Erin works her ass off on this, and it's just weird because when we get the numbers at the end of the week, we're like, wow, like we're fucking killing it on Spotify, we're killing it on Apple.
Like, people are listening.
And our YouTube has 1 listen, and we're like, how in the fuck is that?
Yeah.
How did we get 300 fucking downloads and 1 listen on YouTube?
Yes.
How is that?
Right?
So, I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's cool.
So
You know
thanks
what?
for giving us a little bit of YouTube love and like evening it out.
You guys are the best. We love you. Like, we really, really appreciate you. It makes us feel like we're
Not just
a part of your
yelling into the
lives.
ethos.
Yeah. We're a part of your, we're all friends. We're
I
all
got
friends
it
here.
And I mean, I got no problem with just yelling at cars. Like,
Which, yeah, I
that's
do.
cool too, man.
I yell at cars. I yell at some ants.
Yeah, sometimes I do too.
And not
I
my
even
mom's
yell
sisters.
at uncles.
We just oh, we're so in sync. All right. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll do a little join us at the Spaghetti Factory for our season wrap up. That'll be
Yes.
so much fun.
Dude, definitely hit us up. I'll even buy some cheesy breadsticks
my
that we all can
God.
split.
I will promise not to try to eat your spumoni out from under you if you come with us.
I make no such promises.
Oh, have a good rest of your guys' day. We'll see you
Yeah.
next week with some fucking...
What are we doing next week?
Oh my God, we're doing my thing. We're doing my brain stuff.
Oh, rad. That means
Remote
I need to
viewing.
read a book.
Yeah, remote viewing.
Sick.
Woohoo!